How are you?
Hi, Sal. Good morning.
Good morning or evening.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I know people are joining from different locations. I see that a good enough number across the globe. They have registered from France, Middle East, India, Malaysia, UK, and UAE particularly. And uh, we'll wait for the people who are joining up. And meanwhile, before you listen to me more, let me introduce myself. My name is Kishore Kumar Milialkar. I take care of HR and business. I work as an HR and business director here. So I've been with Avalon for quite a long time right now, and I love working here. So you'll be listening more. So let's play a little AV about the company, and then we'll take it forward from here. And I'll introduce the panel. Then Sal will take it from there. Any questions we can know, take it. You can please type in the Q&A session. At the end of the session, we will answer all your questions in that.
We have highly motivated resources with lots of cloud, PeopleSoft, and EBS implementations expertise.
Can you see my screen?
Our pre-built reports for Oracle Cloud, HCM, ERP, and SCM projects assist with validating, auditing, and comparing configurations in different instances. Avalon's RWB effectively simplifies data migration and upgrade testing. Our custom reporting tools help in making quicker decisions, saving time and costs, leading to a better management system. With strong offshore and on-site delivery capabilities, Avalon promises 24/7 support, cloud-certified resources, and proven project management implementation services. To know more about Avalon's Oracle Cloud services and how we can help, please contact us today.
Wait, I can see that. Wait, I can stop that sharing. Okay, guys, that's a little AV that you have. Hope you got a glance of it. Do let me know anyone who is unable to view any or the audio or video of it. I'll be happy to help you out. Before we head to the presentation, let me introduce to the panel. We have Mr. Anup Reddy, who's a senior managing director, and Robert Lipinski as a senior sales director, Satyanarayana G as a practice director, and Sridhar L as project manager. And finally, we have the presenter, Mr. Salvatore Calace, who is a senior managing consultant. So I will hand over this session to Sal. Sal, you can take it from here.
Thank you. Yep, let me share my screen.
Yeah, please.
And let me just make sure everybody can see my screen right now.
Yes, Sal, we can see your screen.
Okay, so nice to meet everybody. Glad to be here. I'm gonna be with you and presenting for the next about 30 minutes. My name is Sal Calace. As Kishore had mentioned, I am a senior managing consultant here at Avalon. I've been in human capital management, basically HR, HCM for over 10 years. I've worked with PeopleSoft, Oracle EBS, Oracle Cloud doing implementations, various other SaaS applications. I also, prior to beginning my consulting career, was the Illinois Department of Labor's HR director. So I have a pretty deep expertise in government as well. And then I began my consulting journey as an implementation consultant. Worked at Oracle doing pre-sales, similar to what we're going through today, but actually showing live functionality. I worked at Slalom Consulting as a managed management consultant. And now here I am at Avalon. Just a couple fun facts about myself. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I played hockey forever. And I also was a coach of a local high school hockey team. So hockey is very important to me, along with my family. So today, here's our agenda. We're going to go over our company. We're going to talk about a little bit about what we do. We're going to talk through HCM and why to streamline with Oracle Cloud, looking at several of the modules within. Then we're going to touch on a success story and leave enough time for Q&A at the end. But I'd love to keep this interactive with you guys. So if there's any questions, feel free to type that in the chat on the fly. And if we're able to address those on the fly, if it makes sense, then we will. And you can be unmuted, or we can wait till the end when we get to the Q&A. And we'd love to hear more at the end as well. So a little bit about our company, brief background. As we started in 2010, we've grown pretty consistently to just over 125 employees across the globe. We have headquarters in Texas, Dubai, the UK. We have over 7 projects worldwide with our clients. Key areas of focus are, in fact, Oracle products and the applications, specifically Fusion, EBS, and mobility specialization. We all provide a deep level of expertise in consulting, ranging from a business process optimization to a full level enterprise implementations, all the way to upgrade and support services as well. And here's a list of some of the service offerings that we currently have. Now, let's hop into the HCM overview, which I'm sure everybody that's here today likely knows what HCM is. We've all heard the acronym, probably know, but really what is human capital management? Well, this slide kind of depicts the full cycle from hire to retire, from recruiting that first candidate, encompassing their entire career within your organization, all the way through the end and everything that lies in between, everything from onboarding, getting equipment, setting up direct deposit, enrolling in benefits, scheduling, timekeeping, requesting days off, performance evaluations, leaves of absence, payroll, viewing pay slips, all the way through to retirement. All organizations do things differently, but at the end of the day, they do things pretty much the same as well. The business processes are almost entirely the same. It's just a matter of how do we accomplish these things. Well, using Oracle Cloud, you can have your single source of truth, right? You can maintain your data all in one place, which ultimately will allow you to gain all the benefits that you can see listed on this slide, like automation, having your business processes flow properly, right? With the workflow in between, having a single source of truth, which is probably the biggest takeaway from today, having all of your data in one place, being able to sync everything, get reports, everything that you put in, there's always going to be an output, and having everything seamlessly flow through each application is one of the main things that a lot of the clients struggle with, having integrations, homegrown solutions, seen it all, but the main goal is to have all of your information within one place so you can report on it and also complete different transactions, etc. Gives you the ability to reduce manual and duplicative data entry. I'm sure we've all have a lot of that goes on. That's not uncommon, and Oracle Cloud really helps to reduce and minimize. Decreasing time to completion of transactions is extremely important. It takes a long time to do a lot of the things that we're talking about because they're likely workarounds or processes that we don't really address because of the way that things seem to operate and the way that we do them. Don't like to have that type of change. Using Oracle Cloud HCM will entirely change that. Reducing and eliminating human error, also extremely important. We all make mistakes. That's okay. It's just a matter of, can we stop that from happening? The answer is yes with Oracle Cloud HCM. You can do that because the processes are automated, everything that was just discussed above, which ultimately all these benefits will allow you to maximize your return on your investment. Now, any questions before we hop into just some of the other topics that we're going to touch upon today? I don't know if we have anything in the chat. Well, we'll start with recruiting. Usually the first step in all processes, we need candidates and we need to hire them and get them within our organization, right? We've all been part of the recruiting process. I'm sure most of you have likely seen Taleo, Probably familiar with a lot of the functionality of Taleo. With Oracle Recruiting Cloud, it offers the same type of functionality minus the integrations to another SaaS application, right? So all the data is going to be stored in-house. You can seamlessly recruit, and you can maintain your top candidates and talent. You can push job requisitions to job sites, schedule interviews, even gather information that's used in HR and payroll before a candidate even begins. You configure your own onboarding checklists, get a head start in the hiring process, and the data is going to sync with your Oracle HCM suite. So what can be better than having everything in one place, right? Like this process itself, recruiting, it's very difficult. A lot of organizations themselves actually get an external source to do their recruiting. Having the data all over the place, having all of the information, talking to different parties, being able to maintain the top talent candidates is difficult. But with Oracle Recruiting, you're able to have that in one place all before beginning majority of your HCM processes. Any questions on recruiting? All right, well, we will hop to global HR. So as we know, HR can be a mess sometimes. It's a very large process. All organizations feel like they have very unique processes that no one else has. It's impossible to manage. There's a lot of employees that are trying to accomplish the same tasks. There's third-party data that's all over the place, a lot of systems and ad hoc processes. And with Oracle Global HR, you give yourself the ability to streamline these processes. I can't tell you how many times I personally have seen, just the different applications and data that our clients have had and don't know how to get things to certain places. There's hundreds and hundreds of reports that they're printing papers on, trying to add data into one of their solutions. It might not even be their HR system of record. And having global HR as part of your enterprise solution really helps organizations to keep things clean and to allow them to drive their operational efficiency. It supports the entire life cycle that we discussed before, hire to retire. You can efficiently manage your employees. You can set up things per positions, per jobs, per assignments. It's fully configurable to the way that your organization desires. And that's the best part about Oracle products in general. They have delivered functionality, but your organization is able to leverage the delivered functionality, and you do not have to conform to necessarily the way that the functionality is used, but you can marry those two together. And as I listed with a couple of the bullets there, if you have a unionization or collective bargaining agreement or worker agreements, everything's able to be put and configured into the Oracle solution itself to allow you to streamline your work processes. So if everything that you think is so unique, you don't think it's possible to accomplish, global HR can actually handle. There's not one thing that I've personally seen so far that it cannot handle, which is why I love this solution so much. You can also provide insight into your workforce trends, which creates a collaborative culture. So one of the coolest parts about global HR that I've seen is when an employee logs into work, you get to work, you pull up your home screen. Essentially, there's a dashboard which gives you infolets, and you can customize these infolets. It's basically a working checklist. We can use functionality like that exists in like Microsoft Outlook, but you have to create those to do tasks. And within this Oracle Global HR application, as you can see, if you look at the picture, this can be done mobile, but you see your notifications at the top under the bell, and that you click there, you can literally get your, what am I supposed to accomplish today? Do I have a check and balance? Do I need to drill down further into this transaction? You can do so, and it can be done right from that screen. So that's just a simple way of how easily you can streamline a lot of the data and information within Oracle Global HR. Any questions on Global HR before we continue?
Sal, we have a couple of questions raised from Saudi Arabia. The person name is Mohammad Yasin Dosen. He's asking two questions. First question is that how much customization in configuring ORC? The first question. And the second question is any out-of-box solution for business trips in Oracle Fusion Cloud?
Sure. So, do you want to maybe unmute? Would you want to discuss that question just maybe so I can understand it a little bit further?
I have pinged you the same in the. You can open the chat box, or even you can refer your Teams also.
Let's see to the chat box there. Well, to address it from a high level, maybe we can get into that a little further in the Q&A. But as far as truly customizing, it's more of configuring, I like to call it. I know that the word customization at a lot of the clients I've worked at, especially during implementation time, was kind of a no-no. They did not like saying the word customization due to thinking that they needed to change a lot of the coding. And the whole point of Oracle Cloud in itself is that it provides the delivered functionality, but you can leverage the functionality with your configuration. So I'd like to have just kind of a more of a detail about what kind of customizations you're speaking of, if they're truly you want to change code. But to kind of answer the question from a high level, you do not have to customize anything. It's not going to change the code. You can configure and create fast formulas or whatnot within the Oracle Cloud application itself to handle and likely maintain what you're speaking of. But I just want to make sure before saying that I understand it a little bit further. So we'll address that at the end if that's okay. Anything else, Kishore?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much close to what he has requested, and we will speak to Muhammad if he is requested again.
Yep, we'll circle back at the end. Thanks for the questions. I appreciate that, and please keep them coming if there are any. And if you think of something in Global HR within a few minutes, you can still type it in the chat box. So we'll hop over now to benefits. It's kind of the next step in the process. Anyways, you're hiring employees, you're going to do your onboarding processes. That information goes to human resources, and then from there, we're going to have to get benefits rolling, right? Which, of course, I think everybody here is likely enrolled in benefits. I'm not sure if everybody here is necessarily configured or set up benefits or ran part of that process. But as I discussed when I was kind of introducing myself, working in the government, I had to handle just about every single one of those processes, and they were very dinosaurish. They were using green screens where you had to literally click F4 to continue. And so knowing how hard that even just offering benefits could be, using Oracle Cloud and just doing some of the configurations I did at the very beginning that were basic, you really put yourself in control of being able to handle your organization's benefit plans. You can literally configure any plan that you want. You can have this available to your employees. You can set your own open enrollment. There's full employee self-service. You can use also any piece of data as eligibility for the enrollment itself, which for me, this is a game changer, complete game changer, because having all of the information within one solution and being able to literally select any piece that you want from something as simple just as a position, or whether it's somebody who has children, or if they've given you that information, any piece of information that you've collected can be used as an eligibility that you can designate per your organization's needs to either give that employee the access that they need to enroll or to eliminate them from being able to even see the plans themselves. I don't really know what else when looking up things like this. This is the kind of stuff that can take a lot of manual effort just to kind of find out how is this employee eligible, what's their position, is their job. And you being in full control of the configuration itself, that really gives you the ability to offer your employees the best. In addition to that, as you can see with the bullets too, the ability to transmit the information to third-party providers in an automated manner at the end of each day or in real time, that's something that's very big as well. And when enrolling into things like a 401k plan, you can have the data feeds that are automated as opposed to you having to set up and configure different customizations to give your third party the reportable data maybe at the end of the week that they might need. Any delay in these types of processes does not help your workforce internally. Your employees are not being able to get the information that they need in an immediate manner. And with Oracle Benefits and part of the full Oracle Cloud HCM suite, you can have the ability to give this information in real time. One example I always think of from my previous is I actually had left the government and went to consulting, and I was trying to get my 401k or my retirement out of the government, and I was just taking a full withdrawal. And when I called, they didn't know what my address was, which I had updated prior to leaving. They then sent me to refer to the person who would be in control of that information, which was actually still listed as myself because I was named. Oh, somebody's in the full circle of
మీటింగ్ ఉందని చెప్పాను కదా అయిన తర్వాత వస్తాను నేను.
I was still in control of having to do my own withdrawal. I knew then that the information was not done in real time, and it wasn't surprising because government's sometimes a little bit behind. However, when I think back to that example and think about how great Oracle Cloud actually is with just about all of these processes, but benefits itself, having that information in real time, I should be able to process a withdrawal like that. But just by calling somebody, but I should be able to do it myself by logging into something, and Oracle provides you the ability to do so. Any questions about benefits before we continue? All right, well, we'll hop into, this is my personal favorite, workforce compensation. This is where kind of the uniqueness of organizations get involved, and where you can really kind of eye-open clients as to what you have the ability to do in using the functionality offered by Oracle HCM. As you can see, if you look at the picture, you have the ability to create any type of plan, but an annual compensation plan is what's shown there. A lot of organizations have things like the cost of living adjustments, right? You have your COLA, maybe it's 3% per year. This tool allows you to create those types of plans, create a budget for the plans, model that, it's a modeling tool where you can put 2%, 3%, 4%, drill down into all of the employees under the purview of, let's say, the manager. If there's 5,000 employees, you can still have all 5,000, give them all a 2% at the same time. You can also, create different formulas, just like you would do in Excel. It's, if the person is senior level, they have 3%. If they're junior level, they have 2%. Things of that nature that can be done in real time and automated. You can then run that model, look at it, see how much money that would cost extra, run that against your annual internal financial plans, give that an analysis. You can print out the reports, PDF form on the fly. And if if it doesn't make sense, maybe you don't offer that plan. If it doesn't make sense, like you can see on the screen here, you can just submit that. And if you've configured a workflow, maybe that manager, Marie Avery, has to report that to her manager, submit that, it's going to go to her manager. That notification comes up top here. They can just drill in there, see, oh, the annual compensation plan has been submitted. Now I need to approve it. They approve it, goes right into payroll. That's the great thing about this, is that you set the effective date. All this goes right to payroll. Whatever the effective date you set is, it's already configured to be in payroll for each employee. You run payroll, they get paid. An effective dated row goes into the employee's annual compensation statement. And you have the ability to then push those statements to those employees in a batch manner, as opposed to print individual hundreds, thousands of papers out, send it to them, sending emails. It does it all in an automated manner, however you configure it. And you're in total control of this tool, total control of the what your organization offers. And I can't think of anything better that you can play around with in this area. That this is something that I love, and I've tried to create millions of things myself over the last several years, and clients have some unique things, and they've handled all of them. So don't really know what else to say about this tool other than it's really amazing, and I wish we could walk through it live together. Are there any questions, Kishore, about workforce compensation or different maybe different plans that organizations offer that may be unique? All right, well, let's go to time and labor and absence management. And we've seen a million applications and third parties that are trying to integrate time cards into a payroll solution. I'm sure that your organizations have probably a lot of different rules around timekeeping. There might be web clocks, maybe punching in somewhere, using badges, and a lot of functionality. And ultimately, we need to get this time into a payroll solution because we need to pay our employees for the time that they worked. For the most part, there could be some exceptions. But at the end of the day, with Oracle, you can use third-party partners to seamlessly integrate this information, flow that into your payroll in an automated manner and a batched manner, which that eliminates and reduces a lot of the dual data entry, like we were saying earlier. When I worked in the government, people did have to turn in physical sheets of paper that I then had to upload or manually input every single hour for every single employee into that green screen old outlandish system. This eliminates all of that. With Oracle Time and Labor, you can create and configure your schedules based on the employee's job, assignment, eligibility, like we discussed earlier. You can import your time and batch at any time. You can also automate this by configuring the time, the frequency and duration of when you want this time to be loaded. You can also use Oracle itself to be your system of record for time and absence if it makes sense. As you can see on the screen there, you just simply punch in, punch out. You can put breaks in there, and also you have the ability to configure your own absences. So we all know that leaves of absence are necessary. Even if it's just one day, if it's something such as a jury duty, you need to take one day off, you can create that. But anything that you create and configure would create something called an element, and the element is something that contains all of the rules that your organization configures to be able to handle, whether it's eligibility for something like military leave or FMLA, which is always a big one. FMLA is challenging. I can't remember how many clients I've had that it's hard to know the rules of FMLA, even though they're standard and streamlined. You do need to have worked 1,250 hours in the previous calendar year and be employed for at least 1 year. How do you look that up if you're using an outlandish system where you need to maybe find a report, how many hours did this person work, and that could take 1 to 2 hours itself just to find that information before having to filter through everything. With Oracle Cloud, all of that information is there. You can see how many hours a person worked last year by simply just going to the BI Publisher reporting tool and just creating a report. Or you can create your own field that has information. That eligibility is automated too, so you can even create a plan that would run that would say who's eligible and who's not, and that could come up in maybe 10 seconds. So like shown in the video at the beginning by Kishore, it is a robust system, and it has it's very personalizable, and you can configure your rules engine to do just about anything. So with time and labor and absence, it can handle just about any business process that I've seen, any absence, that all works seamlessly and gives your organization full control over these processes. Any questions about time and labor and absence? Also mention one of the important things, given that it's 2023, a lot of us are working remotely ever since COVID happened. Some are full remote. Some of the jobs themselves require you to be remote, but you have the ability to use your phone as well, or tablet or smart device to be able to log your time, which is something that wasn't thought of maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Now it's just something that is delivered as part of the process. So there's no concern with being prevented from logging in your time anywhere. And your organization can set up rules, geolocating things like that, per your organization's rules. And the last topic that we'll talk about is payroll, which is truly an incredible solution with Oracle. It offers, I personally think, the best delivered business process flow that I've seen from any application. It has everything from automated to manual stops, and it provides reports in real time each step of the way, which to me is super important. I know myself that when I had to run payroll when I worked in the government, we had sticky notes all over the place. different transactions that employees needed that you needed to write down literally with pencil and paper and add into system A, which you needed to then talk to system B. Then you need to pull out of system B to put it into system C, get that information and put it into your actual payroll solution. And having everything in one place, like I had said from the beginning, single source of truth, it reduces and eliminates the need to go to multiple systems, but it also reduces the time and effort involved. Having this delivered process that it has the ability to capture all of these rules, and simply everything that we discussed for all the way through now to payroll is encompassed within all of the rules, all of the formulas, all of the math, all of the time, the benefits. That's already on each employee's record. All you're doing is running payroll. You start the payroll process, everything that's automated is going to run. Payroll will then stop at your manual stops, which maybe it's just reviewing a reconciliation report at the very beginning. Maybe it's just reviewing the retroactive changes or any changes that an employee has made. Once you confirm those, you can proceed to move on with the rest of your payroll until there's another manual stop. Payroll will then stop, give you the ability to, you need to view another report. Maybe you don't need to view those and you want it to just run fully automated. You can have the ability and leverage the functionality to run however you need it to run based on how your organization operates. I know payroll is difficult, and I know that a lot of organizations do feel like they are very unique and they have so many things going on that they cannot possibly make a change. This payroll, I've seen some of the worst clients in the world with payroll, and they have been just mind blown about how fast and how quick payroll can run, and just the different abilities that you have with things such as quick pay to make it a payment to your employees on an ad hoc basis or running off cycles. It makes it so much easier than some of the processes themselves may seem, which is really cool to show actually how the functionality is delivered and what's provided and offered to different organizations. Another important piece is the ability to create fast formulas. You can literally use any math, any logic, and it will give you the output of the information that you're giving for the input, which to me, I'm not super deep. You don't have to have the deepest of technical expertise to do it, but it is a little bit technical. But if you have the ability to discuss this, internally with anybody that's doing some type of configurations or your IT team, they don't have to have the deepest of technical expertise to understand how to create a fast formula and then put that, whether it's automated or something they need to run in payroll, put it into work and let it do the math for you, let it do the process for you. And that will just become part of your delivered payroll. And I know that fast formulas are a complete game changer for clients as well. Any questions about payroll? Tried to keep it at a high level. I know that there's a lot of payroll questions probably out there, so please feel free to throw those in the chat and we can handle these within a few minutes as well. Also make mention of the employee self-service that's involved with something like payroll. So having the ability to update your direct deposit, just going to make mention of it. It seems like it probably exists and you'd have the ability to do it in 2023, but some systems are outdated. Some systems don't have that. You have the ability to view your pay slips. There's full control of employee self-service here when it comes to viewing your tax withholdings like shown there. Garnishments are handled. All of the compliance that's needed is already built in as part of delivered functionality. So you have a garnishment in Illinois, it knows the rules of Illinois. It knows what the maximums are. You don't even have to go in there and create those. That saves a lot of hours and a lot of time, and it's fully compliant with all of the, all of your local organizations' rules and regulations. Also holds true for taxable income as well. Those rules are built in, and that's something that I haven't seen, prior to using Oracle Cloud payroll solutions. Any questions, Kishore?
No, I have shared you a couple of questions which Yasin has asked. We will take that at the end of the session. And one more question he has added, you can look into the same.
All right. Well, I'll go to the next slide, and we'll then get to Q&A after.
Great.
So,
sure.
I think we're pushing up against 9:35. So, just want to be respectful of everybody's time, Bob. Here's just a look at some of the clients that we work with. This is just a success story. I was part of this. As mentioned before, one of our employees, Anoop, the senior managing director, was part of this project. That's where he and I actually had worked together at first. This was years ago, but Skyview Vanderbilt did a full enterprise solution implementation of Oracle Cloud HCM and ERP, and it was such a great project that they actually have their own website, as I depicted a screenshot here. Their own website dedicated to reviewing everything that was done, and they actually use that as kind of like a self-service portal to get help and information, see the changes that were made, different training that was offered. But this organization was very all over the place, and this was just a really successful implementation, and helped me learn a lot about the different flexibility that Oracle Cloud does offer with an organization that had a lot going on and a lot of different applications, that they were able to reduce a lot of their processes, their time to completion of transactions. And it's just a great success story, just to give you a little taste of, what a full implementation and the outcome could look like. So that'll lead us into why Avalon. We have the right people. We focus on these technologies with worldwide presence. We would like to offer you the opportunity to work together by providing a free 30-minute phone call or remote session, which we'll call a free health check. That would give us the ability to learn more details about what your organization does, some pain points, your technology landscape. And if that's something that is of interest to anybody, it can help us take a little bit of a deeper dive into, once we hear about what your organization needs, what direction you'd like to go, we can take a look further into some of the functionality. Today was more of a high level, but we definitely would like to hear more from you. So if you are interested in that, which I have my email on the next slide for Q&A, I'd love to be able to hear from you, and if you'd like to set up that phone call, I'd be happy to accommodate you starting today. So thank you guys very much.